Hey, are you talking about back in the day?
Nah, man. I'm talking about back in the day.
Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day.
Joining us today on the Back in the Day podcast is a good buddy of mine, Ziggy. How are you today, bud?
Hey, what's up, man?
Thanks for coming out for sure, and thanks for bringing these dope pictures. I don't even know why I said dope. They are awesome, but I don't say the word dope, so I don't know why.
I say the word dope a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
I have a buddy that says dope all the time.
Okay.
And he says dope and word. And I always like, hey, man, the 90s, they calling you stop saying dope so much. Are you? I always give him a hard time. I was like, you about to start saying, what's up? Like, why? Are you stuck in the 90s? But, man, these are awesome.
I cycled back to it.
Cycle back to talking like that?
Yeah, I was like, I was in badass for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And then I cycled back to dope because badass isn't really.
How old are you?
I'm 30. Oh, shit. So, can I say that, by the way?
Yeah, you can cuss all you want.
Okay. So, I had this issue with my driver's license when I was really young.
Mm-hmm.
They made me almost a year older than I was. So I just rode with that new birthday for like a long time. So I'm like 36, I think.
Okay.
But I could be 37.
This is very mysterious.
Yeah.
Right? So dope was a word that you used growing up then, right? Because that's from your time period. Talk to us about just kind of your career. You're an artist. You do amazing paintings. You can see your paintings all around different spots in DFW. Talk to me about just how that got started. Have you been doing art your entire life?
Yeah, actually, well, I wouldn't say art like with a capital A my entire life because I didn't really take it seriously until like 2012.
Okay.
Like I was like into drawing for the sake of making funny comic books with my friends. And so we would make like these parody comic books, which I even still have some of these, but they were way ahead of their time. In like the 5th grade, we're making these parody comic books where like the main character from Doom is killing Barney and stuff like that. And so we had to like get some one-upsmanship, like inspired by like Mortal Kombat and everything that was happening at the time to try to make like the next series like that much crazier than the first one, right?
Okay. So you're 5th grade, right? That's
Yeah.
the age. Were you starting drawing before that?
Oh yeah, I've been doodling and drawing like tigers and stuff when I was like a little kid.
When you were a kid growing up, and right, if you remember, I don't know about where you grew up at, but for whatever reason in my elementary school, I feel like most of our projects that we did always had something to do with drawing or making poster boards or whatever. And I was terrible at that. Like, I mean, maybe the worst drawer of all time. Were you just crushing those assignments all the time?
Oh, 100%. So there was 3 of us in our elementary school that were considered like, oh, they're the best drawers in the class. And so me and another guy, his name is Brian Eby. He went on to work at to go to Art Institute and to work in video games and everything. And we were like the best drawers of our class. And
were y'all cocky as hell? Just
well,
cocky in class?
No, because it wasn't actually that like revered or that cool, I guess. Like it just happened to be a fact. Like, oh, they're also the best drawers in the class, but that's not what makes anybody cool.
Yeah, maybe you're right. It's not like people are walking around like, man, when I grow up, I want to be a really badass drawer. But I'm thinking about it because I was so bad at it that I have like a lot of envy right now in it. That because my poster boards, they literally looked like I did it right before class, but really I had spent like 7 hours on it. But it looked like I didn't have hands, Yeah. So you're walking in there, you have a badass poster board, you're crushing the assignment. And then you move on to the comic books, right? How long did you do those?
Oh gosh, I mean, just like while we were in elementary school, I think it was like a real short thing. Just for like, it really peaked like in like 5th and 6th grade, and then we went on to like trying to impress girls and stuff.
Okay. So growing up, you're doing art. You're doing that as a kid. Were you doing anything else? Did you play sports at all growing up?
No, actually, when you told me that we were going to talk about athletic achievements, I was like, whoa, that barrel, that is empty. That is an empty barrel right there. No, we didn't play. Well, I didn't play any sports at all.
No organized sports.
No, I was like, all right, my whole like life is pretty crazy. Like I was like in a doomsday cult. So, so like,
talk to me. You're gonna have to tell me what that is.
So like, well, I just like didn't really like when I was a kid. My parents like they thought the world was gonna end all the time, and so like, I was just like kind of just on my own, kind of just not really in any kind of organized anything. Like
where
where
were y'all living at?
Well, around like my parents moved all around the whole country, but around this time period that we're talking about is in Carrollton. Or North Dallas.
North Dallas?
Yeah.
So they're preparing for the world to end.
Like a lot of people, I mean, kind of bought into it in Y2K and everything, but they like took it to like, they were convinced.
Okay.
Really...
What did they have to prepare for it?
Oh God, dude. Like lots of stuff, man. But practical things, not like guns and ammunition.
Okay.
But giant fish tanks with like water filtration systems and stuff like that, and like I mean crazy stuff like that.
Now, did you guys always have like a lot of non-perishable foods? Like in? Okay.
Yeah.
Was there a spot in the house that you guys were gonna go to if something were to happen?
No, just
tell me the plan.
House.
I want to know.
It was just the whole house. There was no, like I said, there's no organization. This is just probably a result of maybe some little sprinkle of mental illness in there.
Okay.
I have no idea. But just like at the time I was just young and I was like, oh, this is, odd. Like we have a whole not garage, but like a whole like storage system here for like bottles of water that have been prepared over like the course of months, and like other people don't have that. And
you said you're like, I mean, were you actually in a doomsday cult? Like, were there other people involved with it?
Well, yeah, in the late 90s there was this thing called the Republic of Texas.
Okay.
And they were like a separatist group, and they wanted to separate from the United States. And so like I don't know how or why the people that my parents knew, because my mom was like a real estate person.
Okay.
So she was just trying to like network with people, and she just got in with these people, and like I don't know.
So she turned from like, hey, I want to try to sell your house, to now we are all going to live the exact same way.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
Okay. So what was the theory? Like, what were they thought? What do they think was going to end the world?
Just like all kinds of stuff. Just like not just so. It was just like a combination of factors. Just like they couldn't see how it could still sustain itself. Like the rampant like market crashes and capital. Just if you follow the news about like these capital systems and you don't really understand how they work, they could be like overwhelming to you emotionally. And so that's just kind of how it went. They thought like the computers were going to crash. There was going to be no more electricity and all that stuff. Yeah.
So you're like 14-ish when this is going on. 14. What's your mindset with that?
Man, I'm just trying to like, at that time, I honestly was, I was just pretty much like a delinquent. Like, just like, staying out too late, going out to movies, smoking cigarettes, like skating, and like straight up just running the streets.
Okay, running the streets of Carrollton. Right?
Yeah. The mean streets of the suburbs.
Yeah, just hitting up Funtime Pizza.
Oh yeah, Funtime Pizza and the dollar movies right across.
Okay, going to Mervin's whenever you got a chance.
Yeah,
got the new stuff.
It was super. Super.
I got you, man. So they're prepping for the end of the world. You're out smoking cigarettes and skating.
Yeah.
Not athletic. Not athletic at all.
Very.
That's
skinny.
cool though. How are they now? I mean, are they still in that doomsday mentality?
Well, no, I mean, not exactly. No, just like after time and after like, firstly, the world didn't end then. It just keeps on going.
Yeah.
And then there comes like little dips of depression here and there, and then it's just like, all right, well, let's get another job and go back to work and like sell some more real estate.
Are they? So she's still selling real estate? No. She's just like,
No.
That's her pitch to people. Look, you gotta sell this house before
it's gonna end.
It's gonna end, and you gotta take advantage of these interest rates, right? You don't know how long these interest rates are gonna last.
It might be that's it. That might be all.
I get that. My mom's a real estate agent too, so I gotta let her know that hey, if you have a bad month, start telling people the world's gonna end.
You could get that angle.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a niche market, but they're out there.
Are they still prepping? Like, is their house still full of that stuff?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all?
None of that stuff.
Do you ever bring it up?
No, not really. I mean, because it's just like, it was just so bizarre. Like, it's just like, I don't know what kind of shit you had to buy into to like have everything that you encounter be assigned to you that the world's going to end. Like what kind of mental state you have to be in, but it can't be healthy.
I'm not sure. Your parents have a much nicer son than my parents do. Because if my mom and dad would have done that and it didn't happen, because like it didn't, I don't know if I let them live that down. Like I think any time that they're about to give me advice, I'll be like, oh, because you're really good at predicting things. Mom and dad.
You know.
Remember how we never went to baseball camp?
because the whole world was going to end.
Because you were preparing me for the end of the world. You said, we don't have time to hit balls. You want to hit balls?
Oh, my God.
So, obviously, you have a passion and a love for sports. A lot of your drawings, you have the Kobe drawings. You have different Dirk drawings. So, were you into watching sports as a kid at all?
Not as a kid. But I came into sports as like a young adult.
Okay.
So I was like I went to Navarro College, which they got the cheerleader Netflix show. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh, okay.
That's where I went to school. It's this really weird country town. My parents moved us out there because they needed to have a house next to like a lake or something, like fresh water or something. And no, I'm serious. And then I was just like, well, I'm not gonna go to this high school. I didn't go to the high school in Carrollton. I went to Smith. Like I didn't attend. So I was like, well, I'm definitely not going to this country high school. So I'm just gonna go to college. So I went to college like super early.
Did you test out or GED?
Yeah. So a combination of GED with an entrance exam, and then I had to basically convince like 4 different like people that I was like mature enough to like go to school there.
Okay.
So it was me and another 16-year-old, and then everybody else was older.
And at junior colleges, because I know I went to junior college as well, like not only are they older than you because you got people fresh out of high school, you often have like the 30-year-olds.
Oh yeah, there's a whole mix. Yeah. I met another guy that was raised in a communist commune, and so I was like, hey, what's up, dude? We can both negotiate really well. How's that? That's really weird.
So you go to school, you go to Navarro, and then all of a sudden you start enjoying sports a little bit, watching sports. Talk to me. Are you just watching it, or at this point, are you starting to try to play it a little bit?
Well, I got really into martial arts.
Okay.
So I was doing like karate, and there was like a country school thing. Like they're like, we teach karate. Yeah, we have a karate course. Okay.
So you go from there to take it into action.
Yeah, and then a very good friend of ours was from Japan, and he was a judo black belt, and he was just like laughing at these karate katas and stuff, and he was like, "Oh my god, you're gonna get wrecked if you ever try to do that to somebody." And he's like throwing us around and stuff, and so then we started to just do our own like martial arts club.
So how long were you doing that?
Like 2 solid semesters.
So tell me a story about, and it can be anything that is your favorite athletic achievement from back in your heyday. It could be some kind of karate. It could be maybe I went and played some pickup basketball with somebody. Anything. You just tell me a story.
Oh gosh, an athletic story. Let's go. All right. So coming from my history, no athletes at all, non-athletic, smoking cigarettes after class. Like my most athletic achievement outside of athletes was like outrunning a Blockbuster employee.
Okay, tell me about that then.
Okay, so when I was a delinquent in Carrollton, I was hanging out with another guy named Zach, and he was like this crazy Russian version of Zach. Like he was like Zach, but from Russia. And so he was off the rails, dude. Like there was something broken in his brain where he's like, he shouldn't do these things. And he's like, what's this even mean? I don't care.
Yeah, I know no words. I know no. I do not know the word no.
Yeah. So we were going to Blockbuster, and we commonly, you would go to Blockbuster on Friday and you'd rent movies for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just how it was. And so we're renting movies, and I got like the 3 movies that I'm going to rent, and like I'm going to pay for, like I have money and I'm going to pay for it. And the dude grabs a PlayStation, because they used to rent the whole consoles.
Yeah, you get the entire console back then, yeah.
It was like in a suitcase with like some kind of protective metal suitcase. He grabs it off the shelf and just runs out the store. And I was like, I mean, I have to run now. Like they're going to keep me here and question me for like an hour about this guy. I have to run too, so I just like throw the movies and run too.
Do you end up taking the movies with you?
No.
So you don't commit.
I panic run.
Theft. You're just sprinting at this point.
Yeah, just panic run. I'm just like, oh my god.
Did the months or years of teenage delinquency cigarettes slow you down at all?
Yeah. Like I thought I was gonna die. I was breathing so hard. I was like, I'm gonna definitely die.
So you end up, did y'all outrun? Did the cops chase you down?
No, so it was the I don't know if she was the manager, like she really cared about this. She was on the hook personally for this PlayStation if it goes south, because she chased us for I think 2 miles, like for a long time, through 3 different neighborhoods, across 2 different busy streets, and then in an alley. I'm standing there and I'm dying, bro. Like I'm like sweating and like I'm passing out. I threw up already. I had already thrown up in the neighborhood before, and like I'm gonna die. Like I was like, oh my god, and I fall on my knees, and this dude Zach is just like, he's just like, man, she's gonna chase us forever. So he drops the PlayStation, he picks up a rock and he throws it at her.
She's still chasing.
Yeah, down this alley. And so he throws a rock at her, and then it like skips off the ground and it like hits her in the leg. And I just saw the quit in her face, and she's just like, "It's not.
This ain't worth it.
I'm not gonna the running.
Yeah, the $9 an hour. I don't even get benefits. Yeah. I'm running through all of Carrollton now. People are throwing rocks at me. Yeah, game over. Right?
That was it. She quit, and then he spent like the next 3 hours trying to open that security case.
Did y'all ever get it open?
Yeah, I mean, he did. I went home. I was just like, man, I was pissed off at him. I was like,
yeah. Did y'all stay friends? Are y'all? I mean, obviously not friends now, but
we're not friends now. But we were still friends for a long time. That was just one of like 1,000 different terrible things.
Did you ever get the opportunity to play that PlayStation?
Yeah, I did.
There you go. I
did.
Right? Like,
played Twisted Metal on that PlayStation.
That would have sucked if you ran through half of Carrollton on a random Friday night and never got to at least play the PlayStation.
Well, we didn't have. Also, once he got it open, he found out that we didn't have memory cards or controllers, so it was just a minor setback. Yeah.
You know, I used. Speaking of memory cards, I used to play PlayStation with my cousins all the time. I'd go visit my grandma, and then we would be there for the week, and they would bring the PlayStation over to my grandma's house. And we didn't have a memory card, and we would play an entire season of Madden or whatever, and we would just leave the PlayStation on the entire time because we didn't want to lose what we had worked so hard on. And my grandma would be like, "Why is that thing still on?" Like, Grandma, don't you touch that.
Don't you turn it
We
off.
were working hard, trying to win the Heisman this year.
So you know about leaving your PlayStation on. Did you ever bump it or anything while it was on for like 6 hours? all right, it would burn the disc. Like it would make a like a divot in the disc if it got like unbalanced. If like you ran into it.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I
You
never
got
had
lucky.
that happen. We did get lucky. Well, it wasn't my PlayStation. It was my little cousin's.
okay.
So their dad probably would have bought him another one.
Oh
if it
man.
would've broke. But
Opposite lives.
Yeah.
I would have. Who knows what I would have to do for another one?
Mom and dad be like, we don't have time to replace this PlayStation. You think that we're not even waiting around for the PlayStation 2 to come out? We will all be dead before that happens. So you go to Navarro. You're going to school. What are you studying while you're in school?
Definitely art.
In art? Okay.
Yeah, art.
Is there a specific...
So real quick, shout out to my art teacher at Navarro. His name is Tom Sale, and
Okay.
he's like kind of a local legend. His art name is like Pinky Diablo, and like this dude, like I had never been to a museum before, and it was all in the curriculum.
Oh, cool. So you got to
like there's another person, and I'm beating myself up because I can't think of her name, but she actually taught me how to draw portraiture.
Oh, nice.
Like I didn't know about drawing faces or anything like that. I had only drawn like line drawings and comic book drawings and like what could resemble somebody's face if you were in the right frame of mind.
So you're focusing on learning how to do those different type of drawings.
Yeah, I went hard into like digital art and everything at the time too. Like it was a big burgeoning kind of market. Like I learned how to do Photoshop and all that stuff.
Nice, man. I had to take a drawing class in college for my degree. It was called drawing and rendering. I have a degree in theater, and everybody, even though I was an acting major, everyone was required to take this drawing and rendering class.
I remember y'all in my class.
And I go to the professor the first day of class, and afterward I said, "Hey, man, I just want to talk to you. Like, I know, like when you guys get actors in your class, you think like we're not taking it seriously. I'm gonna take your class seriously, but to be 100% honest with you, I draw like a first grader." And I care about my GPA, like I care about my grades, like, and I'm not gonna blow your class off. I'm gonna work really hard, but it's gonna look like that I just did it 5 minutes before class, everything that I work on. So I promise you, I'm gonna work really hard on this, right? And he goes, "Hey, dude, don't worry, man. Don't worry, dude. We get people in there as long as I show that you're putting in effort. You know, right now you are. If you say you're drawing like a first grader." By the end of my class, if I see improvement and you're like drawing like a third grader, you'll be good. You'll have a good grade. Don't have to worry about it, right? I was like, dude, I really appreciate that. Takes so much, angst off of me. So I'm working hard the entire semester. We have to do like 4 drawings a week. We have to have this notebook that we're doing. We have these big projects, right? I'm probably spending more time on that class than I am my actual like acting class, the things that I'm supposed to be there for, right? At the end of the semester, I get my grade, and it's a C.
Oh man!
And I'm like, hold up, right? Like, you know, and I get
you said,
yeah, I get my laptop out, and I send him an email, and I say, hey man, don't you remember our conversation about I telling you that I suck at drawing, and I'm gonna work really hard, and if it improves, you'll take care of me, right? And he writes me back and he goes, an A is for perfect work. A B is for exceptional work. And C is for doing enough or whatever. I don't know how, but he said, do you think your work was better than a C or whatever? And I'm like, well, no, but I told you going into this, right? And so I tell this story to my mom about it because I'm mad. Because I think that was the first C I got in college, and this was like my junior year. And she goes, oh, I didn't know you had to take that class. That must have been really hard with your dysgraphia. I go, my what? And she goes, your dysgraphia. I go, what the heck is dysgraphia, Mom? She goes, you don't remember back in like 3rd grade you were diagnosed with dysgraphia? And I go, no, Mom, I didn't know that. She's like, yeah. I said, what is dysgraphia? That's like where people, it's kind of like dyslexia, but it's for motor skills. People struggle with doing like things motor skill wise.
Oh my God.
No one told me this. I mean, I could have just been using this my entire life. All these projects that I had to do, all these terrible poster boards where I'm getting C's on it, where I've been working up. I could have been like, I have a condition. I need you guys to go ahead and give me an A. Because I used to get so frustrated in school, because like in school they'll have you do speeches and stuff like that. I could give a speech all day, every day, and then the kids that couldn't give speeches would go up there, they'd stutter the entire time, and it'd be the worst speech you'd ever heard, and they'd get an A too because they tried hard. And I was like, well, what about a poster board that you gave me a 71 on?
Visual representation of the stutter speech.
Yeah. So now we're moving. We get out of college. Do you immediately go into art as a profession, or what?
Dude, no. I got hired out of college to work for Lehman Brothers.
What's that?
It's a big. It was one of the big banks that like went under.
Okay.
During the first mortgage crisis, they were hiring people out of school to just come in and be what was like a junior underwriter.
Mm-hmm.
And what a junior underwriter does is they like review a loan. And for Lehman Brothers, we had to issue a purchase decision. Like, do you want to buy this loan? And I was like 22 or something. I was like, oh man, I mean, this is like, I'm looking at this pile. It's like millions of dollars. Like, you just going to trust that I reviewed this stuff and like I checked all the right boxes and everything? Okay. Seems rather insane. But then like after working there for like a few months, it was like, wow, yeah, it was in fact really insane.
How long did you do that?
Oh, that was just the start of like, so I've done that day job and art just like kind of together all the time. Like okay. I've always worked in an office situation and then always done visual art.
So you've done that the entire time going through. When did you get to the point to where you were started making art for commissions?
Like after quite a while after 2012. In 2012, my stepfather, like in 2011, my family got just basically totally destroyed. And like I had to find a way to like cope with it, and I went back to drawing more heavily and charcoal works, and then made a commitment to myself that I'm going to try to be as good as I can be, and actually learn as much as I can, be like do the work that it takes to be better, which means like making like tons of mistakes basically.
Yeah, or anything that you do, right? Yeah. It's just constantly trial and error type stuff. What you brought in a bunch of different pictures for us of a bunch of different legends in stand-up comedy.
Yeah, comedy is a huge part of my whole life. So
who's your favorite comic?
All time?
All time.
Well, I have to say it's Pryor, and then right there with Pryor is Carlin.
Nice. And then you have some Richard Pryor stuff, but not with you today.
No,
right?
They are all gone. Just recently, some dudes completed some work on my house, and so I gave them my last Pryor.
Nice.
It's like
nice.
They really liked it.
So do you, when you're doing these drawings of these comics, are you?
No, these are portrait paintings. The drawing is like the outline.
Like we've got George Carlin right here. Can you see that right there? And then some more of his work right here. Kevin Hart.
So I did these with my brother-in-law.
Okay.
We both really like stand-up comedy, and we would watch stand-up specials together, and like laugh our asses off pretty much.
And then after that, it's like I'm gonna draw some stuff.
Well, he got stuck in Turkey opening a restaurant for Wolfgang Puck, and then shit started to go crazy in Turkey with the military coup and stuff, and there was like bombings on like where Americans were staying in Turkey, and he was like, "Oh my God, we're stuck here." Where I'm gonna fucking die in Turkey because I'm opening a restaurant for Wolfgang. He's like a sous chef for Wolfgang.
Oh wow!
And they shut down in Dallas. But while he was stuck there, I was chatting with him a lot, try to stay in touch and be like, "What's the latest? What's going on? Are you gonna have to stay there for the contract that you signed, or are you gonna be able to get out of there?" Like trying to stay in touch with him. And to keep the mood light, we're talking about our favorite bits and stuff. And I was like, dude, when you come back, we're gonna do it. We're gonna paint comedian. We're gonna paint it. We're gonna do these paintings of comedians. So like this background type stuff, this like abstraction with just like color. He just like goes for it, and then that kind of dictates what the portraiture is going to look like.
So he does the background of it, and then
Yeah, and the basically they're all I can't think of the word right now, but it's a color schematic where there's 4 colors equally across from each other. Tetrad, they're a tetrad scheme. And so he starts with a main color and then builds the tetrad off of that. And then I stay within those bounds to do the portrait. That's why they're all radically colored.
That's cool, man. These are so freaking awesome. I know we can see some different of your drawings at some of the comedy clubs around town, right?
Yeah, at Hyena Club, I'm bringing him back. I'm making them. The originals were there for a long time, but through all of the travel and like going to shows in Fort Worth, we usually do Arts Goggle every year, like an in-person show, and maybe like Cottonwood Art Festival. I haven't done that one yet, but I was going to do it this year. It got canceled. and then we were doing Arts Goggle every year, and so just the moving them around, they got really banged up.
Okay.
So I wanted to repair them, and while I had the originals, I found a way to make a print that's like really, really dope. Nice. It's really dope. So I was able to do that, and then so I'm gonna drop those off in like probably I want to say like a week. They're gonna be at Hyena Club in Fort Worth and Hyena Club in Dallas.
Nice. So if you want to see some of Ziggy's artwork, you can check out Hyenas Comedy Club in Dallas. That's in Mockingbird Station.
Yeah.
And then the Hyenas Comedy Nightclub in Fort Worth is in Sundance Square. So you should go check those out. See some really good local comedy, and then also check out these amazing drawings. So it's a win-win for you. Hey, there's something that you do really cool on your social media that I noticed. It's where you I want you to go more into detail on it.
For
where
sure.
you do these things where you're like, you drop off one of your drawings in a random place.
Oh, okay.
And then you take a picture of it and say, come find me.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
So there's a Dallas artist that I really look up to. His name is Matthew Brinston. And he's like a legend. I think he's graduated out of the whole Dallas scene. Like this dude's in Paris and in New York and everything. Like he's like fucking awesome. If you ever see his stuff, he's incredible. One time he left some sketches down somewhere. I forgot where it was, but it was like I'm in Carrollton, so it's a 30-minute drive to get to Dallas. But he left some out that were free, and so I just like grabbed my wife and my like keys, and I'm just like, no, we got to do this. I'll explain to you on the way there. We have to go now because somebody's gonna pick these up. And I got down there. I got down to Dallas like around the Fair Park area, like where his studio's at, wherever he left the stuff. And I was like, they're gone or whatever. And she's like, so what the fuck?
Yeah,
or
why are we sprint out here?
What are you doing? And I was like, it was just such a fun experience, and I really liked the idea of getting people out of their comfort zone to go engage with art in a lot of different ways. And like part of art that makes it successful is that it's attainable. So high-end art has gone like so much far into the abstract and gotten so fucking weird that it's like the banana taped on the wall. It's like selling for $200,000 at Arts Basel. That's just like, man, you have to really like. I feel like you have to make it attainable to people. It has to be in people's lives, or it's not really helping anybody out. So what I wanted to do was make a sustainable project that I could fund, basically, even if I was unemployed or anything. Like, make it base level art, like as simple as I can make it, as affordable as I can make it, in a way that I can do it forever, where I paint portraits, like how I do outlines for these. I'll do like a sketch, and I'll do lines to indicate where it's going to be darker versus where it's going to be lighter. And people saw that's how I do my outlines, and they were like, oh man, that looks cool, like by itself. I want one of those. I was like, well, that's like, okay, I'll sell it to you, but this is like the outline of the painting that I want to sell you the $1,000 painting.
Yeah.
I would like that to be the sale, but if you want this for $40, I can do that too. So people liked those sketches. They just like them. They engage with them. So I was like, well, this is the stuff that people like to engage with. So I paint it on cardboard, and then I just leave it somewhere around Carrollton.
Yeah, I like that because what he'll do is he'll make a posting and he'll have a drawing that is of Kobe or Dirk or someone that is, it's usually someone that's famous, right? It's just a drawing.
Yeah, because it's usually an outline that I've done for somebody who wants to commission a painting.
Okay. So you'll make those and then you drop them outside of the CVS off of some random place, right? And then you take a picture of the area and it's like, come find me.
Yeah.
So now they've got, it's almost like
it's a
scavenger.
Hashtag find me, I'm free. Okay. Find me, I am free.
And do you get a lot of interaction through that?
Yeah, a ton.
Yeah, I think that's
a lot of people like it. So there's like this guardian angel that's looking out for my Honda because his daughter found a Selena painting, and like his mind was blown about how excited his daughter could be to find it, and so he was like, "Dude, anything you need, like, nice. I got you." And my car broke down, and I was like, "Man, I gotta trade this car. Like, I have a Honda that has 245,000 miles on it." Like, I got to trade in this car. This car is making me, like, it's messing up my life. I'm late for everything. He, like, was like, all right. I'm going to go pick up your car, and then I think this is all that needs to be fixed on it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, dude, what do I owe you? Like, that's, like, $300. And the place that it was at that he went and got it from was, like, $100 just to diagnose what was wrong with it. And he's like, oh, nothing. No, you don't owe me anything. Awesome. I'm like, oh, shit.
Well, I think that idea is brilliant. I think that's a great way to interact with, people through social media, to definitely find your art. It makes it like a game, right? Like, it's not the art a part of it. Obviously, you want the painting, but then just the game itself is really cool. So you got to let us know more when you do that.
Oh, for sure.
I'll kind of end it kind of on this. So the question that I kind of use to kind of wrap up the episode usually is this. So I asked you your greatest athletic achievement of all time. That was outrunning that manager from Blockbuster, right?
It wasn't even my fault. I didn't even want to do it.
Killing it, right? Running for 6 miles, whatever it is that you guys did. What's the most athletic thing that you've done in the past 6 to 12 months?
In the past 6 to 12 months, that is rough because I got, I would say watch my wife do jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah, baby. Keep doing it, girl. Hey, you're doing great. You're doing good. You keep it up.
Doing great. You're doing good.
That's awesome, man.
Dude.
Well, hey, Ziggy, this has been a ton of fun. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram at the one and only Ziggy, all spelled out. I'm on Twitter at one and only Ziggy. And you can search Facebook. If you search the name just Ziggy, then I'll be there.
Sweet, man. Well, guys, make sure you check out Ziggy on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Check out some of his artwork. Again, there's some examples for you. You can find me on Instagram at Mike P, because I hope you listen to my stuff and go he. Or you can go to Facebook, Michael Pasvar. I'm on there. Make sure you guys like and subscribe the podcast. And we will see you guys next time.
Back in the day. Back in the day. Back in the day.